Welcome to Shadow to Freedom. In this series, we're diving deep into the hidden forces that are constantly shaping our reality. We're going to explore how we can consciously, intentionally create a better world, and it all starts from within.
So let's kick things off with this really powerful idea from MIT lecturer Otto Scharmer. Just look around. The environmental crises, the social unrest. It's pretty clear that as a whole, we're creating outcomes that literally nobody wants. So the big question is, why? What is driving this massive disconnect?
You see, the state of our world today isn't just a random collection of separate problems. It's actually a symptom of a much deeper systemic issue. And Scharmer points to three major divides that are essentially fracturing our reality.
First up, we've got the ecological divide. This is that massive separation we feel between ourselves and the natural world. For centuries, we've treated the Earth like it's just a thing, right? A resource to be used up. And of course, that has led to the environmental destruction we see everywhere. It's a crisis that's born from losing our connection to the planet itself.
Then you've got the social divide, that feeling of disconnect between self and other. When our collective social fabric gets torn apart, what do you see? Rising tension, violence, and a total inability to see our shared humanity. It's that classic us versus them thinking, just playing out on a global stage.
And finally, there's the spiritual divide. And this one? Well, this one might be the most personal, the most sneaky. It's that disconnect between who we are right now and the absolute fullest potential of who we could be. That gap shows up as burnout, as depression, as a deep loss of meaning. It's like a quiet epidemic of the soul. And Dr. Gabor Mate, he connects these divides directly to collective trauma. As he points out right here, our systems, education, healthcare, you name it, they often just keep this cycle of disconnection going. We're building environments where trauma is becoming the norm, not the exception.
Okay, so if these divides are all just symptoms, what's the actual root cause? Well, this brings us to the very core of this whole thing, the unseen architect of our reality, what the psychologist Carl Jung famously called the shadow.
So what is the shadow? Put simply, it's everything we refuse to see in ourselves. It's that collection of traits, impulses, and desires that our conscious mind has decided are unacceptable. So what do? We push them down, way down into the darkness of our unconscious.
And this table just breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you've got the persona. That's the polished, perfect mask we wear for the world. It's who we think we are. But on the other side is the shadow, our unconscious counterpart. And here's the crazy part. It holds not just our darkness, but also our greatest hidden strengths and potential.
The mind architect Peter Crone absolutely nails it here. All these limiting identities we cling to, they aren't who we really are. They're just software. They're narratives we've built out of language, and we've unconsciously just let them run our lives. We think we are our limitations, when really, they're just stories.
And here's the real kicker. What happens when we refuse to look at our own shadow? We project it. We see all the darkness we can't accept in ourselves, and we see it in everyone else, in other people, other groups, other countries. We go around creating chaos, all in the name of being good or right. So how in the world do we break this cycle? Well, it takes courage, a lot of it. It takes what some people call the work of the spiritual warrior, that inner journey to finally turn around, face our own shadow, and bring it back into the light.
Now the path here isn't about destroying the shadow. You can't. It's about integrating it. And it starts with just acknowledging it's there. Then you learn to negotiate with it, to watch your emotional triggers and projections with honesty, without judgment. And finally, you reclaim the gold hidden in the darkness. All that power, creativity, and authenticity you pushed away.
And let's be clear, this is not a passive process. It's a massive shift in how you see everything. Like Peter Crone says, it's about taking immense and complete responsibility for your inner world. You stop blaming everything and everyone out there, and you start looking at your own perceptions. That is where real freedom begins.
Here's such a brilliant, real-world example from Robert Johnson's work. This couple, the night before their wedding, they made shadow vows. They actually sat down and openly talked about the worst parts of themselves, the darker potentials they might bring into the marriage. By bringing the shadow into the light on purpose, they disarmed it and built their relationship on a foundation of radical honesty. Now, when individuals start doing this inner work, something truly remarkable starts to happen. The focus shifts from just personal healing to collective transformation. And that's the mission, really, conscious co-creation.
But that brings up a really important question, right? You might be thinking, How does me working on my personal shadow actually change the world we all live in? How does my inner peace translate to any kind of outer change?
Dr. Joe Dispenza gives us the answer right here. The way we transform the world is we transform ourselves. It's so simple. When we become whole, when we literally embody a new way of being, we don't have to go out and preach about it. Our very presence becomes an invitation for others to start their own journey.
And this personal transformation, it builds a whole new foundation for society. You start to see these huge shifts. We move from separation to real community. We go from an ecosystem, that's all about me, to an ecosystem that gets that we're all connected. Greed starts to dissolve into connection, and fear gets replaced by courage.
Ultimately, this whole journey, from shadow to integration, it's about unlocking a fundamentally new way of being human. It's about stepping into what we can call the freedom of being.
I mean, just look at this contrast. It's night and day. On one side, you have a life that's run by the past, by subconscious programming, limiting beliefs, and just reacting to everything. On the other side, you have the freedom of being, a life of real authenticity, of conscious presence, and the power to actually co-create your reality instead of just being a victim of it.
John Bradshaw frames this so beautifully. He says, this journey isn't just about healing old wounds. It's the courageous act of creating one's unique life. It's the highest form of creativity there is, and maybe, just maybe, it's the fulfillment of our destiny as human beings.
So, we'll leave you with this. It's pretty obvious the old ways of doing things are collapsing. A new, more conscious world is trying to be born, right through each and every one of us. The only real question left is, what part will you play in its creation?